All right, we're live.
Welcome to the Stream News Club. Invoking Nerdherders.
Welcome to the stream, you scruffy-looking nerf herders. So, if you couldn't tell, this stream actually has a sponsor, which is the app Diddy. It's a free app for iPhone and Android, and what it does is basically what you just saw. It will take whatever you type, any message you want, and set it to any song. They have a huge library to choose from, but they happen to just add a bunch of Star Wars songs and wanted me to tell everyone about that. You can also add videos and GIFs behind your songs. Normally you have to pay to get a song on Diddy, but today for all of my subscribers what they've done is set the main theme for Star Wars to be absolutely free. So if you want to give it a shot, check out the links in the description for both iPhone and Android, and check it out. It is actually a lot of fun to play around with. With that said, we're going to get the stream started. Before I start taking your questions, I just need to take a moment to say thank you to all of you. A huge, huge thank you. Because originally, you probably know that this was supposed to be a 30,000 subscriber stream. Well, since I scheduled it, I'm actually at 40,000 subscribers. So you're coming in so fast I can't even keep up. And it's been so much fun. It's thrilling to see. So thank you to everyone who is new or old, if you've been around since the beginning, or if you're brand new and this is your first live stream with me. Just thank you from the bottom of my heart. With that said, let's start the Q&A. Lexi needs to choose between homework and this live stream. Stay in school, Lexi. Thank you, Brandon. Brian Schlageter. Welcome to the stream, man. Good to see you. Man, my webcam's doing a weird thing where the color keeps changing. I hope that doesn't keep up, but oh well. Brandon Clements, thank you. 5,000 subs. You've been around since then. That's awesome. Jesse Jameson, brand new guy. Welcome. Jabbing guy, 100 subs. Wow. Meta Tonight. I am about to turn 29 in like 2 months. Alright, here we go. Who do I think Rey's family is? Good question. I'm actually going to do a video on that soon. And I don't know. I don't know who Rey's family is. I like the Obi-Wan theory. Well, there's like pros and cons to every theory. I like the Obi-Wan idea, and I think there's a compelling argument for it. But at the same time, I'm not sure that I don't know when he would have had time to make a family, you know? But there's a lot of evidence for that. Of course, everyone's first thought is a Skywalker, which I'm okay with that too. Really, all of the theories I think are acceptable as long as they're put in a compelling and as long as the reason makes sense. I don't really care who she is or if she's even just a brand new character, but I think they've kind of said that there's a reason she doesn't have a last name. What's my name? My name is Alex. Yeah, I did hear that Andy Serkis, the actor who played Snoke, confirmed he is not Darth Plagueis. I kind of figured that and hoped that Snoke was either a new character or I just didn't think he was going to be Plagueis, but I mean, that doesn't really mean anything, to be honest. Benedict Cumberbatch claimed over and over that he was not playing Khan in Star Trek II when he was. I mean, hey, it's Bosk. You want a Star Wars Minute shirt? Well, okay. There is a link in the description of this stream that says Star Wars Tees, and you can get one there. If anyone wants a Star Wars Minute shirt, that's where you can get them. They actually go on sale a lot. I don't think there's one on sale right now. That's up to TeePublic when the sales happen, but if a sale happens, I will let you guys know. What would I like to see in an Obi-Wan spinoff? Germ for NGB. I mean, I guess the only thing that makes sense is something that happened in between episodes 4 and 5, so they're kind of covering that in the Star Wars comics right now, bit by bit, but I definitely think there could be a movie in there somewhere, or maybe there was a time where Obi-Wan had to leave the planet and go on, like, a big adventure. So that would be cool to see him go on, like, a galactic adventure rather than just sitting around on Tatooine, you know? Brian Schlageter, of the new characters, which would I want to have dinner with? Probably Finn. He seemed like the most fun. Just, he was a funny guy. I liked him a lot. But I would also love to hang out with Poe. Really, I liked all the new characters so much, I don't know that I could choose. William Miranda, will I do more videos with Stargeek? I would love to. It was awesome working with Stargeek. Really, I haven't had a bad experience working with any of my collaborators at Dash Star and Stargeek and Battlefront Updates, Joel Robinson. They've all been a lot of fun to work with. So whenever they want to work together again, I'm totally up for it. I didn't say Ray. What nationality am I? I'm American. Do I think anyone from Rebels will be in Rogue One? That's an interesting question. It's possible, and I think it would be cool. It looks like there won't be any main characters from Rebels as main characters in Rogue One. We've seen like that main cast photo, and I don't really recognize anyone from Rebels in there, but it would be cool to see a cameo from someone. Even like if they built a chopper and just had him in the background, that'd be cool. Or Zeb. I don't see any. They've already said that there's not going to be Jedi in Rogue One, so that gets rid of Ahsoka, Kanan, and Ezra. But any of the other ones I think would be very cool to see, even if it was just a cameo. Ooh, my favorite Star Wars game, Da Best Ra. I've got a soft spot for Dark Forces. That was probably one of the first games I played. Actually, that's not true. The first game I remember really wanting and saving up my money for, I think I went out and mowed like 3 lawns in a day, and I needed to get $20. I remember working really hard just to go out and get Rebel Assault 2, which now, like, I've played it since then, and it's such a silly game, but that's probably the one that I have the most nostalgia for, actually. That was like the first Star Wars game that I saw in the store, and I really, really wanted it, and I worked hard to get it, and I played it a lot. I'll probably live stream it at some point because it's so goofy, but it's fun. The Fox, yeah. I mean, I think that Tarkin coming back for Rogue One is still a rumor, but it makes complete sense, and I would love to see it. I hope they pull it off well. Like, I hope he's just kind of in a hologram. I don't want to see another actor taking his place, which I think they've said that they're not doing, but I also don't really want to see him in person and have a, like, Uncanny Valley situation where he just doesn't look quite right. But if he's a hologram, I could see them pulling it off pretty well. Meta Tonight, I have tried to, if you remember, I set up a Let's Play with Battlefront Updates and Dash Star and Joel Robinson. Hello Greedo was invited to that Let's Play, but he had family in town on that weekend, so he unfortunately couldn't play with us, but I would love to play with Hello Greedo. Best lightsaber, Crazy in Gamer XP. Um, Good question. Uh, I think I would like a double bladed lightsaber. Those always seemed cool, and I remember seeing that in the trailer when Darth Maul first lit his up. Like I had seen it in the comics before with Exar Kun, but when Darth Vader lit his up on the big screen for the first time, that was awesome. So I would love to say double bladed lightsaber, but I know that I would be just twice as likely to cut my own arm off if I had one. Um, but yeah, we'll go double bladed lightsaber. Would I be a Sith or a Jedi? Gabe Hoagland, I hope I'm saying that right. Sith or Jedi? I would have to go Jedi, and I've answered this kind of similar before, but every time I play a game like KOTOR or Fallout or some game where you have to choose if you're gonna be on the light side or the dark side, I usually go in with the intention of playing dark side, and every time I just can't bring myself to do it. I can't bring myself to be a jerk to these digital people that don't even exist. I just can't bring myself to be evil. So I know that in real life I would have to be a Jedi. Nolan O'Brien, do I think Kylo will turn good? Yeah, kind of. I really hope we get a really cool like redemption arc for him, but at the same time, The Force Awakens got some flack for mimicking A New Hope so much. Like so many of the story beats were the same. So I hope the whole trilogy doesn't follow that same path. I don't want Kylo to come around and be good at the very last second in episode 9. I think I'd love to see him somehow come back to the light in episode 8, and maybe someone that we love goes to the dark. I'd love to see kind of some allegiance switching in the next movie instead of the very end of episode 9, basically. Star Nerd, what's my favorite bounty hunter? I mean, it's the boring answer, but it's got to be Boba Fett. He was like the second action figure I ever bought. Everyone loves Boba Fett. It's such a boring answer, but it's the one I have to give. Will I even talk about the Old Republic anytime soon? Yeah, I actually have a few videos coming out about Old Republic era stuff. Now that The Force Awakens has been released, like I did the basics for quite a while, and it's been only canon stuff. The Force Awakens is out now, and I'm still going to be covering The Force Awakens, but I'm mixing back in Legends videos. There's going to be probably at least 2 a week from now on for the next foreseeable future. You're going to see a lot of Legends videos again. Like next week, we're doing Boba Fett Part 2, which is his Legends story after Return of the Jedi. On Friday, I know I'm doing The Legend of General Grievous, so I've done a canon video for him, and so many people, myself included, think that his Legends origin story is way cooler. So I'm doing a Legends video of General Grievous. I forget what else is coming out next week. I think the Y-Wing, Starkiller Base, and I forget what else. There's one more, but yeah, Legends videos are back in a big way. What do you do for a living outside of... And what are your interests outside of Star Wars? 007 Venom. I'm in marketing for a living. That's my day job, so I work a 40-hour week marketing for a small business here in Atlanta. And interests outside of Star Wars, I mean, honestly, this channel takes up a lot of my time, and it's fine because I love Star Wars, but I mean, like anyone else, I hang out with my friends a lot. I like watching TV. I'm excited for The Walking Dead to come back and for Game of Thrones to come back. You know, your typical nerdy interests. Ramaj Potala, I know I butchered that name. I am just about 29 years old. I know I look like I'm 18, but I'm almost in my 30s, actually. Meta Knight on April Fool's do a Jar Jar video. I might. I have a few ideas for April Fool's, not to give anything away. I mean, of course I would do something for April Fool's. Last year I did a Star Trek minute video. I've got a couple ideas rolling around in my head for April Fool's, and I don't know what I'm going to pick yet, but I'll do something fun. Will I make a gaming channel? Hey, DC Geek. Good to see you. I don't know if I'll make a separate channel. Maybe I'll ask you guys your opinion on that. I would love to, if more time opens up to me. I've got a few plans for this channel, and one of them is to make live streaming a more frequent thing, like once a week, unless I'm out of town or something. I would also like to maybe once a week do a live gaming stream, and I'll play things like Battlefront or Dark Forces. I'd love to play through every Star Wars game and just stream that. But what do you guys think? Should I do that on a totally separate channel or just add it to this one? I have to figure that out at some point, but that's down the line, probably in a couple months. Chad, since I like Game of Thrones, what's my favorite character? Man, that changes from book to book and episode to episode. I really love the Hound. I love Arya, Tyrion. Those are probably my top three. Oh no, I love Jaime too. Maybe I'll go with Jaime because I'm a sucker for redemption arcs, and you know, at the beginning of that series, he's one of the biggest jerks. He's known for being the Kingslayer, and he pushes Bran out the window, and by the end of book 3, you love that guy. So once you learn kind of his history and that he's way more noble than he puts on, I really love Jaime. Do I still get flack from people in real life for loving Star Wars so much? Sarah? No, not really. I mean, most of my friends are into Star Wars, so especially Schlog, who's in this stream here. He's probably the biggest Star Wars fan I know, outside of me. Not really. But, no, I don't think I've ever gotten any flack for enjoying Star Wars. Most people seem to like Star Wars. Am I a console gamer or a PC gamer? Mostly PC. I actually just built a brand new PC just to play Battlefront on like the highest quality settings. I do have a PS4. I've got a Wii. So there are games, like I love the Uncharted games. I can't wait for Uncharted 4. But I would say that most of the games I play are on my PC. Do I think Star Wars Legends still matters? Blue Francis, that's a great question. In the new canon, do I think it still matters? Yes, because there's so many great stories in there. So they might not matter to the new canon, but as a fan and to new fans, yeah, it should matter because there's some great stories that people are going to miss out on if they just ignore the old Legends EU. And people should check it out. So yeah, I do think that it matters, especially things like Darth Bane and Darth Plagueis, the Old Republic, which the new canon has barely even touched. Yeah, I think it matters quite a bit. Stefano Freshness, my favorite Sith ever. Well, he is a canon answer, and I have answered this in a video before, but Darth Bane is my favorite Sith. His trilogy of Legends books, which is a big reason why I think Legends still matters. His trilogy is one of the best writing in the old Legends EU. If you have not read the Darth Bane trilogy, read it. It's incredible, and Darth Bane is the person that shaped the Sith into what they are now. So, yeah, Darth Bane's my favorite Sith. Maximus Kamaj, I see you asking me to answer, but I don't see your question. what do I think about Finn not being the main character in The Force Awakens? I mean, yeah, I think that's fine. I liked that he was kind of a misdirect. We kept seeing him holding the lightsaber in all of the ads, but in the end, it turned out that it was Rey. I think that was a good misdirect. I'm glad that they let that be a hidden fact. Oh, where was that? Saw Ben ask if I could write a canon novel, what would it be about? So everyone knows that I love Lost Stars, as that's my favorite canon book right now. In that book, near the end, there is a scene where a bunch of rebels try to take a Star Destroyer. I would love to see a story about just that. I think that could be awesome because they kind of went into what has to happen to take down a Star Destroyer. They have to shut down the engines. They have to shut down the escape pods, and they have to keep the bridge open so they can actually fly the ship. Like, there are all these things that have to be done in a certain order in order to take a Star Destroyer. I think that would be awesome to make a raid. If you've seen the movie The Raid, where a SWAT team has to go level by level and take down like this apartment building, I think it would be awesome to see a group of rebels go level by level on a Star Destroyer, and they have to move and complete all these objectives. That'd make a great video game too, actually. But yeah, that's something that I would like to see. I'm having a bunch of my friends tell me that I should host a local meetup at Battle and Brew. Well, if anyone is in the Atlanta area and is interested in that, tweet at me or leave a comment or send me a message on Facebook. And if you're in the Atlanta area or would be willing to drive down, yeah, we can do that. Do I think the Falcon will make it through the new trilogy? Yeah, probably. I don't know. Good question. I mean, Rey is piloting it now. Chewbacca's still around. I mean, that's basically another character. Like, it would be a huge bummer to see the Falcon go. But yeah, my gut instinct is that it'll survive. Am I ready for Star Wars Rogue One? Harelt Cortina. Cortinia? Man, I'm trying on these names, guys. Yeah, I'm really excited for Rogue One. If you've been around on this channel for a while, you know that I really love stories about the just regular soldiers. I really love the X-Wing books because it just follows normal people trying to save the galaxy, and that's what Rogue One is looking like it's going to be all about. I'm so excited to see that. And I'm really excited because one of those characters in the character poster, it looks like it could be Biggs, and if Biggs is in that movie, I'm going to freak out. Gungan Hunter, why are Star Wars channel growing so fast? Probably because The Force Awakens just came out. I mean, it's renewed a lot of interest in Star Wars, and hopefully that interest continues, because I would love for this channel to continue growing, so I can just keep making more and more videos for you guys. Oh, Maximus, your question, is Lando the father of Finn? I kind of hope not, because I just don't want, everyone to be related to everyone in these movies. It makes the galaxy seem smaller almost. I mean, right now, it's like one family's drama has caused so much trouble for the entire galaxy. And that's fine, but not everybody has to be related to everyone else. Like, Finn can be a totally new character, and that's fine. Death Star or Starkiller Base? I'm gonna go with Death Star, just because Starkiller Base, while it was cool and it was a little different, like, ultimately, and they even said this, it was so similar to the Death Star, and we've already done that twice. Like, that was a problem in the old Legends, I think, is that every story had a new super weapon. Like we got, okay, now we have the Sun Crusher, now we have the Darksaber and the Galaxy Gun and the World Devastator, and it just got to be kind of tedious. Like we don't need to have a super weapon to destroy every single time. Like The Empire Strikes Back, no super weapons and considered the best film in all of Star Wars. So we don't need to have all of these super weapons, but yeah, I'll say that the Death Star, I like that over Starkiller Base. Snakebite Gaming, Traitor or Phasma. Yeah, I was disappointed in Phasma a little bit. I love Gwendolyn Christie, and I really hope to see her get to do more in Episode 8. For all that she was hyped up to be, she just didn't get to do much, and that's not Gwendolyn Christie's fault. I just, I think that Traitor's role could have been given to Phasma just to make it a little more cohesive for her. But at the same time, the guy that played Traitor, he delivered one line, and really the stormtroopers in general in this film were really well done. Like, they didn't seem quite so inept as they did in the original trilogy. Sure, they still got mind tricked, and they didn't really do any damage on any of our main characters, but they did seem more dangerous and more capable than the Empire stormtroopers. I saw someone ask something a couple times. Brighton Cherrier, you've asked a couple times what my wife thought of The Force Awakens, and then she actually answered you a couple rows down there, but she loved it. I'm trying to keep up with all your questions, guys. You're typing so fast, and it's hard. So if I don't answer your question, I'm really sorry, but I'm doing my best. Old Republic spinoff movie, Game Boy 263. Yes, I'd love one. More than that, I would love them to go into Darth Bane. Darth Bane is technically canon. He was in the Clone Wars, but I want him to be more canon. I want his story to be canon. If they did a Darth Bane trilogy, or I've mentioned doing a Darth Bane Netflix series, kind of like Daredevil, about that style, that would be perfect. I want to see Darth Bane become more canon. Are video games canon to Best Raw? I'll get back to that, but the Death Crafter, you have a wife so young. I've said this before, I'm 29 almost, so we're older than we look. But okay, back to the question. Are video games canon? Battlefront is canon. There have been a couple mobile games that are canon, like Uprising and I can't remember the other one. It was kind of like the RTS style thing, or like base defense. Anyway, anything released after April 14th, 2014, I think that's the date. April 2014, we'll say. Anything released after that time is canon, including video games. But everything before that, like KOTOR, Dark Forces, The Force Unleashed, those are all not canon. Do I think Traitor will return? First of all, actually, it's funny. I picked up one of the Funko Pop bobbleheads yesterday. I heard that Walgreens had exclusive TR-8R. Well, they just call them Riot Control Stormtroopers, but it's basically... I'm gonna go get them. And you can see my pajama pants, but I picked up a little TR-8R bobblehead yesterday. Pretty excited. But no, I don't think he's going to return. He took a bowcaster blast to the chest. I think he's gone and done for. But there is, as far as we know, still one member of Finn's squad, Zero's, who was called FN2000. He's still out there. He could be alive. Well, he's I guess he might be dead. He could have died on Jakku, but he isn't confirmed to be anyone yet. So we could see another battle very similar. It could be that personal because it would be someone else from Finn Squad, and he could even have the same gear. So kind of, we might see a very similar Riot Control Stormtrooper pop up in future movies. Which Star Wars games did you play? Oh, man. Let me pop open my Steam. Let's see. I've mentioned Rebel Assault, Dark Forces. I've never played The Force Unleashed 2. I've played The Force Unleashed 1. X-Wing TIE Fighter, X-Wing Alliance, Shadows of the Empire, Rogue Squadron. Man, Rogue Squadron, it's great. I need to play those again. What else do I have? Republic Commando. I think that's about it. Oh, you know what game I loved was Jedi Power Battles. It was on PS1, I think. Me and my buddy played that a lot, and I'm trying to get him to come over so we can live stream it together. We never beat it, and I would love to beat it with him now that we're maybe capable. I don't know. I might have gotten worse at games since then, but we'll give it a shot. Felipe Moraes, can you explain why the Old Republic universe are now Legends? Because the Lucasfilm Story Group basically said, we're going to make all these new movies. We don't want to be held back by anything that's already been written. So they just decided to get rid of everything that wasn't a movie or the Clone Wars. And yeah, the Old Republic was part of that. But since it doesn't really look like they're going to touch it at all, I hope that at some point maybe they'll just pick and choose the best stories from that era and recanonize them. I don't think that would hurt anything. The Fox, where do you get the shirt that I'm wearing? There is a link in the description. It says Star Wars Tees. It is a link to TeePublic. I should make sure that works. Yeah. It's a link to TeePublic, and you can buy a lot of different Star Wars shirts, but there is one that I have designed with the Star Wars Minute logo on it. But yeah, you can check out all of the Star Wars shirts that I think are cool on TeePublic by following the link in the description. Star Wars Battlefronts have a zombie minigame. I don't think so right now, but I would love it if they did. They should do a Netflix original canon Star Wars series where each episode they tell a story of an important Jedi or Sith in the Star Wars universe. That's a really cool idea, Furios Broski. I really like that idea, where it could just be like Star Wars stories and every episode is different. That would actually be awesome. I'd like that a lot. Dylan Taxon, I notice you. Will I do a Legends video on Dirge, Gameboy263? Yes, I will. I've had a few requests on him. He is on the list, and I will... You know what? Let's see if I have him scheduled. I'll even tell you when he's set up to be. Right now, it's gonna be a while. You guys request so many videos, and I'll explain kind of how I go through requests, but Dirge is on the schedule to be done in a video. So I'll give you that. But basically, once a week I go through all of my comments, and I see who requested what, and I tally it up, and I add it to this spreadsheet I have. And it keeps track of how many times every topic has been requested. So whatever's at the top of the list, I schedule that, and it goes on down. So the more times a topic gets requested by different people, then the higher up the list it goes. Right now, Dirge, I think, has 3 requests, while someone like Boba Fett Part 2, for example, which is going to be out Monday, he's got 10 requests. So that's how I handle requesting. And it's getting to be pretty unwieldy. Like, I get probably 1,000 comments a week, and it takes a lot of time to just go through all of your comments, which is an awesome problem to have. Thank you for all your comments and your requests. But like, I see people requesting things like on every video, and I'm like, I know, I hear you, but there's a lot of things in between now and that request. So basically, if you want something to happen sooner, get your friends to request it. How many requests does Jar Jar have, Schlog? Too many, probably. He has 4, and you were the first request for him, so thanks for that. He's on the schedule. Jar Jar's coming. What do I think of the Red Letter Media guys? I like them a lot. I really think that they're... I think that they hate the prequels a little too much, but I think they have a lot of insight into some of the problems that the prequels did have. So I really enjoy their videos. Red Falcon sent me a tweet. Let's read it. Yeah, Andy Serkis confirms that Supreme Leader Snoke is not Darth Plagueis. Someone mentioned that earlier, actually, and I said that that's probably... I wouldn't read too much into that. Like, I do agree, I don't think that Snoke is Plagueis, but it's kind of like in Star Trek II, Benedict Cumberbatch kept saying that he wasn't playing Khan. I'm not Khan, I'm this new character, when in fact he was Khan. So just because a character or an actor says he's not a character, he could just be trying to save a twist. The Epic One. Was Coruscant destroyed in Episode 7? No, it was not. That planet was Hosnian Prime. The entire Hosnian system was actually destroyed. So the way the New Republic works is that the Senate rotates every so often. So when the New Republic first began, it was on Chandrila, which was Mon Mothma's homeworld. It probably moved to Coruscant at some point, but at the time of The Force Awakens, it was on Hosnian Prime. And when Starkiller Base fired, it did destroy the Galactic Senate as well as the New Republic's fleet, which, to be fair, was only 20% of what it was at the time of, say, Return of the Jedi. So it wasn't a huge fleet, but it did provide support for the Resistance. So at the end of The Force Awakens, we're kind of back to square one as far as the First Order is probably bigger and more of a threat to the galaxy than the Resistance can handle. I think the Resistance is now set up to be underdogs again, so it's kind of like the Rebel Alliance versus the Empire all over again. Doughboy Quan, do a video on Princess Amidala. She's on the schedule. Do I think Cad Bane will be in Rogue One? Franco FM. I don't know. It would be really cool. I would love to see some of the animated characters make a live action appearance, and Cad Bane would be really cool to see in live action. I think that would be awesome. I don't know that it'll happen, but it would be very cool if it did. The Pixelated Gamer. Can I rank the 7 Star Wars movies? Okay. As of right now, my list goes from top to bottom: A New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back, The Force Awakens, Return of the Jedi, Revenge of the Sith, The Phantom Menace, and Attack of the Clones. You like, Jared, you like my Lord of the Rings poster. Thank you. I think that came off a Scout Mob. My wife got it for me. Molly, what kind of DLC for Battlefront do I hope to see? I would love to see some DLC for The Force Awakens. I want to see a Starfighter, what do they call that mode? Just Fighter Assault? I'd love to see a Starkiller Base map, because every time I see that movie and they're flying around on that planet, it looks awesome. So that's what I want to see. There weren't... I guess we could have a map like at Maz Kanata's place. There weren't a ton of ground battles. I guess, I mean, we already have a Jakku map, but it would be cool to have one like in that village. So, yeah, we'll go with a couple Force Awakens maps, but also it'd be nice to see some Clone Wars era stuff. Maps on Geonosis or Kamino would be cool. Even some Clone Wars era's ships. That'd be nice to see. Do you think Rey will lose a limb just like Anakin and Luke? I guess it's possible. I mean, I don't know. Again, I hope that they don't mirror the original trilogy too closely. I really want them to take the next two movies in a more new direction than The Force Awakens took from A New Hope, because they were very similar. So I don't want to see Episode 8 be like a direct mirror of The Empire Strikes Back. Hey Josh, what's the best new canon book? Lost Stars, by far. Read Lost Stars. I've talked about it a lot before, but that's all I'll say. Just read Lost Stars. I want The Force Awakens playable heroes and villains. Yeah, that'd be really cool. You mentioned Chewbacca as a hero. I think there's rumors that he's about to be added as a hero. But yeah, that would be nice. Will Kylo be redeemed? I kind of hope so, but I kind of talked about this earlier. I hope it's not at the very end of Episode 9 like Darth Vader was. I just don't want him to be that similar. And now my buddy Josh, who is also a huge Star Wars fan, is in the chat. That's nice to see. Hey, Josh. And yes, I do want to play Star Wars Catchphrase with you. Do I want to see an Obi-Wan trilogy? Zelon Ekra. Yeah, I do. I at least want to see an Obi-Wan spin-off movie. Like, Ewan McGregor has talked about how he's in to do that a lot. It makes sense. He was one of the best parts about the prequels. We should get an Obi-Wan movie. Hardcore Gamer 097, is my wife a Star Wars fan too? Yes, she is. She helps me with the channel quite a bit, actually. Do I think Rey is Anakin reincarnated? No, I don't think so. You reminded me, though, I was joking with my wife about maybe doing like starting a new series called Tinfoil Friday, where I just think of the craziest theories that I can and do a video on them. Like, the one that I was thinking of is all of these Snoke theories that are being thrown out there. This is the craziest one I could think of. So what if, after Darth Vader died, since let's say that he had basically two personas, he was Anakin Skywalker and he was Darth Vader. So when he died, we have seen Anakin Skywalker as a Force ghost. What if at his death, his spirit basically got split into two? One that had all of his light side qualities, and one that had all of his dark side qualities. So the Force ghost we see of Anakin is that light side ghost of Anakin Skywalker. What if Snoke is the dark side ghost of Anakin Skywalker? Because we never see him in person. He could be not just a hologram, but a spirit. But again, I think that's totally bonkers. And it's just fun to think about. What do I think about the Knights of Ren? And do I think there's another Sith in Episode 7? I don't think that the Knights of Ren or Kylo or Snoke are Sith. I think they're like a different type of dark side user. And I don't know what to think about the Knights of Ren right now, because we just haven't seen them in action much. I really hope we get to see a lot of them in Episode 8. Man, you guys are typing fast. Oh, Tron 1160, people have already come up with that theory. Well, fine. Dan Macy, Kindle or physical books? Both. I kind of like reading on Kindle more, but I do have books physically, so yeah, I don't really have a preference. I guess it's like I like having them to display on my shelf, but I like to read on Kindle. I just think I read faster. Do I think the Sith are defunct now, Brandon? Yeah, kind of. I think with the way Darth Vader killed the Emperor and killed himself in the process, thanks to the rule of two, there aren't really any more Sith left unless the Emperor had like another Sith hiding somewhere that he was secretly training. But I don't think so. I think the Sith are gone. What's my dog's name? It's Biggs. Named after the best character in the Star Wars universe, of course. If you could have any color lightsaber, what would it be? I'd probably go with blue. We've made a couple of Star Wars fan film lightsaber fights in the past. They're not on this channel, but maybe I'll put them on for old time's sake. They're really bad, but I always gave myself a blue lightsaber. Do I think Rey will ever turn bad? Noah Collins. Maybe. I'm a sucker for characters that switch allegiances, like Spike in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. He goes from bad to good. Battlestar is pretty old. I just don't want to spoil it in case people haven't seen it. There's a character in Battlestar Galactica that goes from good to bad. And I always like those story arcs if they're well done. So, yeah, if we saw Kylo become good and Rey become bad, or another good character go bad, I'd be into that for sure. Could Galen Merrick appear in Rogue One? I doubt it. Because they have talked about how they're not going to include any Jedi or Sith, or I assume they're not going to include Force users of any kind in Rogue One. So I doubt Starkiller is going to be in that movie. Josh, what turns on R2-D2? Candles, soft music. Yeah, obviously if you saw The Force Awakens, that's how they woke him back up. You weirdo. Brighton, do I think Luke turned gray? I think he was kind of always a little bit gray, especially in Return of the Jedi. He was never completely using the light side. He kind of force chokes those guards. He definitely gave into the dark side a little bit when he fought Vader. I just think his training was kind of not complete. So I think he's probably a little bit gray. Do I think that Finn will be trained by Luke at some point? I can't decide if Finn is force sensitive or not. He definitely held his own with a lightsaber, but there have been, especially in the new canon, we've seen other instances of non-force users effectively using lightsabers. So I don't think that is definite proof that he has the force. Poe, I think there's definitely evidence that points that he could have the force. And if our three new main characters, if Rey and Poe are both force users, then I think that could also kind of point to Finn being a force user, just to round it all out. And it would be interesting to have all of our three new main characters being trained by Luke, and that they would be the start of the new Jedi Order. Having a couple people tell me to check Twitter. Do I think they will introduce clones again because Kylo Ren mentioned it? No, I don't think so. At M. Manly Bear. The Boba Fett killing Owen and Beru theory. Yeah, I could see that. He was on Tatooine at the time, and I do like that theory. I don't know if it's true or not, but excuse me, but it's pretty cool. At DC Geek 13, will I ever do another video with @Star Wars, because that would be awesome? Yes, I'd love to. I like Dash a lot. We talk quite a bit, actually. So we keep talking about collabing, and we've done it a few times. We did it with his Darth Kaitis vid, and I did Tarkin for his channel, and then we did the Battlefront collaboration. So I am absolutely for collabing with him or Stargeek or Battlefront Updates or Joel or pretty much anyone, any other Star Wars channel. I'm up for it. How did Revan die? That was really, like, I never played the Old Republic, but I did basically read his story, and his stuff after KOTOR got really, really weird. Basically, like, he got split into, like what I was talking about with Darth Vader earlier, he got split into a light side and a dark side personality, and the dark side was like trying to take over the galaxy again, but he got stopped by the Republic and then killed Ish. Like, it's very strange. The HoloNet, any tips on growing a Star Wars related YouTube channel? Just make videos, man. That's the best thing you can do to grow any YouTube channel, is make videos. Is Hux related to Grand Moff Tarkin, Kevin Lopez? I don't think so, because there is another character in Servants of the Empire, which is a series that takes place around the time, or during the time of Rebels, and we see him as an Imperial Commandant. His name is Commandant Hux, so he's got to be like the grandfather of General Hux, so I don't think that Tarkin has any relation to Hux. DC Geek, do I like Evan Nova 95? Yeah. I mean, he's been doing Star Wars videos for a long time. He does those versus videos, which are very cool, and he has, like, a lot of people ask me to do the lightsaber color meetings, and I've been doing them one at a time. I don't want to really do one big one, because that's one of Evan Nova's, like, best videos, and I don't want to step on his toes or anything. But yeah, I like Evan Nova. Nick Bowman, do I think Force Ghost will appear in episode 8 or 9? I think it's possible. We heard Yoda's voice and Obi-Wan's voice in Rey's vision, and they were brand new lines, so, and they were speaking directly to her. So I could see Force Ghosts coming back. I mean, we already kind of experienced them in The Force Awakens, just not visually. It was just voices. But maybe they can explain something like as time goes on. I think this happened in the Legends EU, but as time goes on, their ability to appear or manifest themselves visually just kind of dissipates, and they can't do it anymore. So it's possible that that might happen. Felipe, what happened with Leia's Jedi training? Wasn't she the other Hope that Yoda was talking about? Maybe, but they've basically said that she felt she had bigger responsibilities, or that it was too late for her, that she just wanted to focus more on politics than becoming a Jedi. She just didn't really have an interest in it. And I can see that. Do I think Rey is Luke's daughter or Obi-Wan's granddaughter, or not connected at all? Honestly, there's so many theories being thrown around right now. I don't know which one to believe. I do like the Obi-Wan theory. I've also heard that she's the daughter of Captain Phasma, and I kind of think that one's fun. I'm doing a video about this at some point, but the biggest thing that I think is important here is the fact that in her vision she is left on Jakku with Unkar Plutt, and I just don't know why anyone like Luke, or I just don't know why her family, a good person, would leave her with someone like Unkar Plutt, you know? Like, why not leave her with Lor San Tekka? But if it's Phasma, I could kind of see that, because, like, what if Phasma had a daughter and she, like, realized she was Force sensitive and she wanted to save her, but she's also part of the First Order, so maybe not all that morally great, so she's like, well, at least she'll be alive and I'll just dump her on Jakku. Do I watch the Clone Wars? Yeah, I did. I watched it all when it was on, and I liked it. DC Geek, I hope I hit 100,000 subs this year. That'd be awesome. I want one of those little silver play buttons. That'd be very cool. um, oh, Brandon, yeah, Dead Dialect Podcast. If you have never heard of them, I did an episode with them right before The Force Awakens came out, and we just talked about Star Wars, really. So look up Dead Dialect Podcast. We might do another episode here soon about The Force Awakens. Now my wife and Schlog, you've never even been to Dragon Con, but they're telling me I should do a meetup at Dragon Con this year, which I would love to do. That's a fan convention that's held here in Atlanta every year, and we love to go. So if anyone happens to be going to Dragon Con this year, you should let me know, because I would love to meet some of you in person. Oh, VNX is here? Nice. What's up, George? Do I think Lost Stars should have gone longer with more detail at the end of the book? Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying, that you wanted to get more hints about The Force Awakens and see what else was going on and around the time of the Battle of Jakku. Yes, that would have been cool. But I was so satisfied with that story. I think it ended in a perfect place. Maybe if they had written like an epilogue to continue on, but I'm really excited for New Republic Bloodlines, because I think that's probably going to be the detail that you're looking for, and that comes out. I have that written down. New Republic Bloodline comes out on May 3rd this year, so that'll be exciting. Do I think Boba Fett will be in Rogue One? Maybe. That would make sense. I hope we get some sort of return of Fett in the canon. He's been in the Star Wars comic and the Darth Vader comic, and he has been awesome in it. If you haven't been reading those comics, check him out, especially in the Star Wars comic. He's had a lot to do. Some very cool scenes. What are my feelings about Rogue One? White Point Star Productions. I am so excited for Rogue One. I can't wait. I might be more excited about Rogue One than I am about The Force Awakens. I love that we're going to get all of these different genre movies set inside the Star Wars universe. So we're going to get a straight up war movie that's not about Jedi, that's just about normal people doing something awesome. I can't wait to see that. And like I said before, if Biggs turns out to be in it, I'm going to freak out. Is Snoke Sidious Kenneth Velasquez? I don't think so. I did a Who is Snoke video, and my theory is that he's a completely new character. I think that's the best way to go. I think he's some sort of like ancient dark side user. That's who I think Snoke is. What would I like to see under the Boba Fett helmet? I guess the face of Jango Fett. I mean, he's a clone after all. Maybe a really scarred up face. I think they've said that they're doing a Boba Fett movie. It was on the schedule that Entertainment Weekly released. It'll be in episode 8 is 2017, Han Solo's 2018, episode 9 is 2019, and then I think 2020 is supposed to be a Boba Fett movie. So maybe we'll get to see him then. Do I think the reveal of how Vader found out that Luke is his son in the comics, do I think it was good? Is that what you're asking? If so, yes, I loved that scene where Boba Fett tells him the name of the pilot that blew up the Death Star, and Vader starts flashing back to his time with Padme, and then when the Emperor told him that his wife and his unborn child had died, and now he knows the Emperor was lying, and like his rage in the Force starts to rip his Star Destroyer apart. It's very cool. Maximus, yes, we can be friends. We're friends now. Congratulations. Isn't an Obi-Wan movie coming out? They haven't announced that officially yet, but they're definitely talking about it. Do I think Rey will become more powerful in the Force than Luke? I mean, it's possible. I feel like they need to keep, upping their game. Do I have any Star Wars costumes? Uh, Not anything like really good. You can kind of see behind me, I've got this Boba Fett helmet on my bookcase. When I go to Dragon Con, the costume I do most years is Broba Fett, which basically I dress up like a douchebag, and I put on the helmet, and I put like a beer hat on it, like one of those things where you put the can in, and it's like a party version of Boba Fett, and I just go around and take pictures with as many Star Wars characters as I can find. Game Boy 263 Tie Crawler Legends video. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's on the list. It's definitely on the request list. I don't know if it's been scheduled yet. Who is my favorite character in Lost Stars? Um, if you're talking about between Thane and Sienna, uh, I mean, it's kind of a tie. I really liked them both. I thought they were both really well written. And I'll go with Sienna because I liked seeing a bunch of Imperial scenes from her point of view. The one I go back to is in Empire Strikes Back when they're chasing the Millennium Falcon in the asteroid field. Sienna is there, and she is in charge of helping the 4 TIE fighters they send after the Millennium Falcon. She's in charge of helping them navigate the asteroid field, and every time one explodes, she feels an immense amount of guilt. And she's questioning, like, why are we even chasing this freighter? She doesn't know what's important about the Millennium Falcon. And she's like, okay, we're losing Star Destroyers. Like, thousands of people are dying. This is a huge waste of people and resources. Why is this happening? And that's a great point because when you're watching the movie, you're like, all right, so Darth Vader needs the Millennium Falcon, so they're going to chase him. Makes sense. You don't really think about all of the normal soldiers, and they're probably all like, wait, what? Why? So I enjoyed her scenes probably the most. Do I think Kylo Ren could kill Luke? Everyday normal guy? No. I don't think so. I mean, he couldn't really take on Rey. Yes, he was injured and all, but I think Kylo wants to take on Luke, and that's why he wants to find him so bad. He wants to prove that he's this great warrior, but I just don't think he's there. And that's kind of what I love about him, is that he sees himself as being so much greater than he is. Lots of questions. Coming real fast. Is Jar Jar a Sith Lord? No, I don't think so. What else did? Oh, where else did they pod race besides Tatooine? Off the top of my head, I can't remember, but I do remember Qui-Gon saying that there were pod races on Malastare. Very fast, very dangerous. Who's Luke talking to in the Force Awakens teaser? Leia, because that dialogue was lifted from Return of the Jedi. Do I think R5D4 is Snoke, Neradox? Yes, for sure. That droid blew up, and then in Legends, Skippy, aka R5D4, was a Force-sensitive droid, so, maybe when he died, his spirit, he had learned the secrets of essence transfer, and no, of course not, but that's funny. Harrison Ford is on the cast list for episode 8. Thoughts, Alessandra Vina? I would guess in a flashback of some sort, maybe even just like a hologram, like maybe Leia is looking at old memories or something. Honestly, I think Harrison Ford agreed to come back to The Force Awakens because, yeah, he's wanted to kill off Han Solo since like The Empire Strikes Back, and I think he said he would come back if they killed off Han Solo. So I don't think he's going to have a very major part in episode 8. Do I think Kylo knows a lot about Palpatine? Probably. In the novelization of The Force Awakens, Snoke tells him quite a bit about Darth Vader, so I assume he's given him kind of the rundown on the Empire and the Sith and who they were. Harelt Cortinia, Star Wars: The Clone Wars versus Rebels. I'm actually a bigger fan. Well, that's tough. Right now, I think the Clone Wars had some episodes that were really, really good. But overall, like Clone Wars also had some episodes that I also did not like. But Rebels has been really steady. Like, the quality's been good throughout, in my opinion. And I like that it's just one continuous story. The Clone Wars jumped around so much. So I'm gonna go with Rebels, but I do think that so far the Clone Wars has had higher highs. What kind of lightsaber do I think Kylo will get since his was destroyed? I wonder, since his lightsaber was supposed to basically mirror his personality, I'm wondering if now that he has killed his father and he's more accepted his role in the dark side, maybe he'll become more stable and certain of himself, so maybe he'll get a new lightsaber that's, like, correctly built. If I had to guess, that's my guess. What other films or shows do I like? I mentioned Game of Thrones and The Walking Dead, Parks and Recreation, movies, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones is my other big love. I've got this signed Raiders poster over here. I've got a couple cool little, like I've got a replica of the Ark of the Covenant and that idol that Indy steals. I really love Indiana Jones. Yeah. What are my thoughts on Lucas's recent comments? I haven't really been keeping up with them, honestly. I don't know. I just don't really... I know that they've been negative, and I just don't care to read it. Is Rey Maz and Chewie's daughter? I would think she would have been shorter and hairier. So probably not. Why didn't Anakin's Force Ghost tell Kylo that he became good? Well, we haven't seen any Force Ghosts, and it's been 30 years, so maybe... I kind of mentioned this before, but maybe the Force Ghosts have just kind of faded away. Maybe over time they lose their ability to manifest. So yeah. What's my favorite Black Series figure? I don't have a ton of action figures, but I do... I can get this one. Oh. I actually have a couple. This is like the bigger version, and the first action figure I ever bought was Rebel Luke Skywalker in his Rebel flight suit, and so for Christmas one year my wife got me the Black Series version of that figure, which was a nice gesture, and I also have the small version, Black Series, Biggs Darklighter, of course, I had to have him, so... but the Luke one is... The Black Series figures are really cool, so I'll go with Luke. What's my favorite dog breed? Beagle. I have a Beagle right now. His name is Biggs. Go figure. And he is the third Beagle I've had. I had one growing up as a kid. I had one when I was just leaving high school and going into college, and then... the first dog I got for myself was a Beagle. Larkin, thanks. Yeah, these pants are really comfortable. It's like watching a newscast where they're all dressed up here, except I'm not even dressed up here, but then down below they're wearing like shorts. Oh, so many questions. Don't I have 40,000 and not 30,000 subscribers? Yeah, I guess I should change the title. But it's just going so fast I can't even keep up with it. But yes, I'm actually doing a longer stream. I usually do an hour Q&A, but I'm going to go 2 hours today because I got an extra 10,000. So we're going to keep it going. Corgis are better. I do like corgis. They're really cute. Do I like the new X-Wings? Yeah, I love them. Their design is really cool. I like the way that the wings kind of like meet in the middle instead of stack on top of each other. One thing I don't like about them though is that they're so good at everything. It seems like they've phased out other ships. Like they had time to perfect the X-Wing, so now they're faster. So it's like the A-Wing is now not around apparently, and they can be outfitted with more powerful weapons, so we don't really need the bombers. But I really hope that we get to see some more new Resistance ships besides just the X-Wing. Where's Star Wars Celebration 2016? I'm pretty sure it's in London this year. Is it Anaheim? Yeah, it is London. Thank you, Venux. I'm probably not going because that would be quite the plane ticket, and I think tickets are almost sold out, so no, I'm probably not going to make it, but I need to go at some point. I've never ever been. Who was my favorite character in The Force Awakens? Man, probably Finn. I thought he was the most relatable. I liked that he was so simple. Like, he wasn't stupid, but he just didn't know how the world worked because he'd been raised by the First Order. He was funny, and he was just doing like I've always said, I enjoy the characters who aren't Force sensitive, that are just doing their best to do the right thing. And he also had kind of the Han Solo character arc for The Force Awakens, where he wanted to leave, he wanted to run, but in the end, when his friend was in trouble, he came back for her. So yeah, I think Finn was probably my favorite character. Do I like the two-person TIE fighter? Yeah, I thought it was really cool. I like that they can shoot backwards now. I like that they have shields. That's pretty cool. I like that the technology is upgrading. Favorite clone in the Clone Wars? Fives. I love Fives. Man, you guys are going so fast. Who's my favorite character in general? Biggs, Darklighter. He sacrificed himself for his friend. He was a great fighter, and I really hope that he's in Rogue One. Why does Harrison Ford want Han Solo to get killed off? I think he just thought that would be the best service for the character, to have an emotional punch to the films, but also I think that he was playing Indiana Jones and Han Solo at the same time, and they're kind of similar characters, and he's vocally said that he prefers Indiana Jones to Han Solo. I think he was just kind of tired of the notoriety, but he seemed a lot less grumpy when he was talking about The Force Awakens. Ryan Wellhofer, thank you for the help. Especially if people are asking repeat questions. Do I think Darth Plagueis is Snoke? No, I don't. I think Snoke is a brand new character. I've done a video on this, but if you want my full answer, but basically no, I don't think that Darth Plagueis is Snoke. Will we see the Darksaber again? Crazy and Gamer XP. Well, Darth Maul is still out there, so it's possible he could pop up in Rebels. I really just want to learn more about the Darksaber. Like, there just isn't much information about its origins, except that it was an ancient weapon and that the Jedi were holding it, and eventually some Mandalorians stole it. Like, I want to know how it was designed, who designed it. I really want to learn more about it. So yeah, I hope it pops up again. Just Jace, can I do a video on the Y-Wing? Yes, it's coming out Wednesday. I think. Let me double check. Oh, nope, it's not. It's not coming out Wednesday. It's coming out next Wednesday on the 20th. But yes, I'm doing one. Favorite alien species? I'm gonna go with Wookiees. I love Chewbacca, and I love his loyalty, and I think that their culture is pretty cool. I like that they appear primitive, but their cities and their technology is very sophisticated. So yeah, we'll go with Wookiees. Clone troopers or stormtroopers? Um, if we're talking original trilogy stormtroopers, clone troopers beat them all the way. They were better soldiers, and they were just cooler. Like, it's interesting that the clone troopers had actual personalities and they wanted to be individuals, and that stormtroopers were so heavily brainwashed that they were more robotic than clones. Um, I also like the First Order stormtroopers because they are much more. They seem more capable than the original trilogy stormtroopers, and they're like a mix, which was the point. They cover that in Servants of the Empire. They're a mix between stormtroopers and clone troopers, and it's kind of the best of both sides. They're more individual, but they are trained from birth, so they're better soldiers and they're still very loyal. Darth Jobos. I like the Rebellion more than the Empire, and I always will. Why did the Empire change their name to the First Order? Um, I don't really know. Like, the Empire was basically dissolved, and in the Galactic Concordance, which was signed after the Battle of Jakku, the Empire came to an end, and I guess most of the members of the Empire were okay with that, but this small sect that was not okay with that decided maybe they felt disenfranchised with the rest of the Empire, and so they said, you know what, we're going to make our own thing, and we're going to be the First Order. That's probably why. Do I think Maz Kanata is Force sensitive? The gaming metalhead. Yes, the visual dictionary for The Force Awakens confirms that she is. El Janshi, R2D2 or BB-8. Right now it's BB-8. We've talked about how, especially in the Clone Wars and the prequels, R2D2 became just like this Deus Ex Machina machine. I mean, he could solve anything, and I like his personality and all, but just the way he was used as a storytelling device, it was like, okay, he can do anything. But BB-8 right now is he just has the personality, and it's a great personality. So, and you know what? He's just downright cuter. So, I'm gonna go with BB-8. I need a water break. Do I think Brindle Hux will appear in Rebels and Rogue One? Well, he is definitely alive at the time of Rebels, and I think it would be cool to have a Hux in Rogue One just to keep the movies connected. So yeah, I'd like to see that. No, Ryan Wellhofer, Maz is not the same species as Yoda. I'm assuming you're answering that for someone else. Possible to buy a Star Wars Minute t-shirt? Yeah, I've mentioned this a couple times, but if you want a shirt, look in the description of this video and there is a link that says Star Wars Tees. Click on that and you can buy a shirt. What's my drink? This is a good old glass of water to keep my throat talking. Any way I can talk about the books, comics, and blogs you read to follow the new Star Wars canon. Yes, Jesus Zavala. I am subscribed to all the new comics. I read all the new books. Most of the new books, I should say. I don't read like the really super young reader, like books for kids, which are basically retellings of the films. Anything that is like middle school age and up, so like Servants of the Empire, that's about as young as I go, and those books have still been very good. But every month I try to read everything new, so that's what young reader books, the novels. If there's a short story released in Star Wars Insider, I read that. the comics that are currently running are the Star Wars comics, Darth Vader, and Kanan, although that's going to be canceled in like 3 more issues. The Obi-Wan and Anakin comic is out right now. That's the current like 5-issue arc they're doing. Blogs, I pretty much just follow Slash Film. That's my favorite movie blog, and they talk about Star Wars a lot, and they actually feature my videos quite a lot, which I've been loving. Like, I've been following Slash Film for 8 years or so. I can't remember when I started reading them, but to see my stuff pop up on a website I love is very exciting. Giovanni Marini, will I open a gaming channel? Let me ask you guys, would you rather see me do... Eventually, I'm talking about doing like 1 gaming stream a week. Would you rather see me do that here, or should I do that on a completely new channel? Because I feel like if I did it on a new channel, I don't have time to do it like on a daily basis. But, you know, once a week here, I think makes sense. But if that's not something that you guys are interested in at all, then I won't do that. Gungan Hunter, the Kanan comic being canceled is not going to mean it's uncanonized. It just means that it's not selling as well as the Star Wars and Darth Vader comic. So everything that happened is still canon. They're just not going to continue with that story. Do it here, same channel. Twitch. I do have a Twitch. Do it here. Okay, I'll do it here. That sounds good. Basically, my plan is to play, and when I say this, I want to play like every Star Wars game, and I will play every Star Wars game, including the really bad ones. So like the Xbox Connect dancing game, at some point I would stream that. I don't know if I would play it all the way through, but I'll give them all a shot. But some games like Dark Forces, I will play that once a week until I beat it. Or like Rebel Assault 2, I can beat that in an afternoon. So yeah, I'd like to play every game and kind of talk about each one. So yeah, I'll do that. I don't know when I'm going to start adding that because, like I said, I have a day job and I need to find the time to do it, but it is a goal that I have, and I would love to start doing it this year. As well as I'd like to start doing a weekly live stream like this. Do I play Star Wars X-Wing miniatures? Yes, I do. Not as often as I would love, but I really like that game. I also really like Imperial Assault, which, if you follow my Instagram, which is at Star Wars Minute, about once a week, usually, a group of friends get together. It's like a 5-man game. So 5 of us get together and we play Imperial Assault, and we get our butts kicked because the guy that's playing the Imperials, which is basically like the DM, he kicks our butt every week. But yeah, I really like the X-Wing miniatures game as well. One of my friends that I play Imperial Assault with has like literally every ship. Least favorite Sith? That's a good one, and I don't think he was ever named, but there was a Sith in between. So it was like Darth Bane, Darth Zana, Darth Cognis, Darth Millennial, somewhere down that chain within the 1,000 years between Bane and Darth Sidious, there was a Sith that defected and went to the light side. Excuse me. We never really got to hear his name. We didn't get to hear his story, but that oh jeez. Excuse me. But that sounds like a story I'd like to hear, is the Sith that almost ruined the Rule of Two and the Sith line forever. But yeah, he's got to be my least favorite Sith because he wasn't a very good one. Ronan, what did my folks make of The Force Awakens? Yeah, they took me to see it for my 3rd time, and I Instagrammed that. They liked it a lot. They basically we're grateful for it's been a while since they watched the movies. Like, they're not as into Star Wars as I am. I don't think they knew what they were doing when they showed me Star Wars when I was 7 or 8. I can't remember. 9, 8 or 9. I don't know. But it's been a while since they saw the film, so they were grateful that I was doing the basic series because they were watching it and able to keep up. And like right before we watched the movie, I had to give them a really quick rundown. But yeah, they liked it a lot. Fava Hornet, Max von Sydow's character, Lor San Tekka. You want me to discuss him? I'm not going to do it here because I'm actually doing a video about him very soon. It will be out on Monday the 18th. So I will discuss him then. Oh, so Renan's saying Weissman told in an interview that he only wrote 12 comics for Kanan. That was the initial plan. Okay, then maybe I was wrong, but I had read that it just wasn't selling as well and that it was being canceled. Can less civilized species like Gungans and Wookiees be force sensitive? Yes, they can. There is a Wookiee, there's a canon Wookiee Padawan in the Clone Wars, so they absolutely can be force sensitive. Simon Alexander Aho, do I have an Instagram? Yes, it is. I might have it linked in the description. I don't. I should add that. But yes, my Instagram is Star Wars Minute. Will Kylo kill Luke? I don't know if they're even gonna face off. Like, it would be interesting if no, they probably will. That would be kind of weird if they never saw each other again. Which social media do I use the most? Probably Instagram. That's the one I enjoy the most. I don't use my Facebook or Twitter as much as I would like, but my wife is going to help me out with that soon. So, but for now, it's Instagram. What happened to Barriss Offee after the Clone Wars? We don't know yet. I thought it would have been cool if she were that female Inquisitor that's in Rebels Season 2, but she's not, so we don't know yet. Ronan, it'd be cool if I set up a Star Wars Minute Guild on the Old Republic. I have actually never played the Old Republic, but I mean, if I'm going to start streaming, I might. Do I think there will be a Kanan the Last Padawan movie? Probably not. I think Kanan's story is going to be limited to the comics and Rebels. I think outside of that, he is not going to be in any other movies. A Tans Devo spinoff movie. Although, I know you're joking because I said that was my least favorite character because he's so annoying. But at the same time, like, I do kind of want to see a noir, like, mystery movie set in the Star Wars universe. It would be funny to have him as a cameo, but man, if you were the main character, absolutely not. Thoughts on the fact that I have 42,000 subs on my 30,000 subscriber live stream? Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I hit 20,000, like, less than a month ago, I think, and I am already in the 40s. Like, that's crazy. Part of that was that my video about how Kylo Ren probably got Darth Vader's helmet went kind of viral, and it became my most viewed video in like a matter of 2 days. And ever since then, my growth has been very, very fast. So yeah, that's crazy. And I said this at the beginning of the stream, but there's probably a bunch of new people here now, so I'll take some time again to say thank you. Thank you to all of you, whether you've been here since the very beginning. I started a year and 4 days ago. That was my first video upload. And in that time, in 369 days, I'm at 42,000 subscribers. That's insanity. So thank you to every one of you. It's hard to put into words how exciting it is, and all of you have been so encouraging. Your comments are great to read. And just that there's so many people on a stream right now asking me questions is hard to put into words. David Payne, my favorite Star Wars weapon. I mean, lightsaber, obviously. Like, I would love to have a lightsaber. But if we're gonna go with a non-boring answer that probably most people say, trying to think of what my favorite weapon on. I guess Han Solo's blaster. That's everyone's favorite blaster on Battlefront because it's so powerful. But maybe a bowcaster. I don't know. Oh, story room. I should update the text in my description to say every day, not Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You're right. Because it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday now. You are correct. Thank you for pointing that out. I will do that. Do I think Handsome Pelican? It's a funny name. Do you think they will reference Darth Vader or Anakin in the later movies? Yeah, I think so. I mean, they've talked about having Hayden Christensen come back for episode 8. It sounds like he's turning that down, that he just kind of wants to get out of the limelight. But I think that Vader is still going to be around, or at least referenced to. Not maybe physically around, but I think his legacy is going to continue on. Max Studios, where do I think Kylo got Vader's helmet? I did a video on this, but I'll try to blow through it real quick. There's a story called The Perfect Weapon, where a woman named Sabine Natal gets hired by a very dramatic and mysterious client to steal something that belonged to a stormtrooper. So she is led to this facility that is a psychiatric, basically, institute for retired stormtroopers, and the specific one that she's looking for was a captain at the Battle of Endor. So I think that after the battle, he was maybe trying to wander around or like get away from the shield generator area, that Ewok village. He's probably trying to find a way off planet, stumbles upon a funeral pyre and sees Darth Vader's burnt up helmet, decides to keep himself a little souvenir. I think he takes it and keeps it for all those years. That's pure speculation. Oh, and then Sabine steals this box from... I mean, that stormtrooper's dead. She takes the box. She gives it to the client. I think that client was Kylo Ren. We don't get to see what's in the box, so it might not be Darth Vader's helmet. The story is called Perfect Weapon, which refers to the character herself, but, I mean, it could also refer to, like, Luke's lightsaber. Maybe that's part of how Maz Kanata got a hold of it. I don't see that so much because I don't think that lightsaber was there. I mean, Darth Vader might have had it, but if he did, then it would have blown up on the Death Star. I think the fact that it was a stormtrooper that was on Endor is a clue that he took the helmet of Darth Vader. Would I rather be able to use the Force or have a lightsaber? I'll say use the Force, because maybe then I could build a lightsaber. If I just had a lightsaber and not the Force, I'd probably kill myself on accident. Oh, okay, you wanted to know where Kylo got his own helmet. I assume he just built it. I think in the visual dictionary it even says that it's like based on a design of the Knights of Ren. So I think he built his own to fit in with the Knights of Ren and also pay homage to his grandfather. Any plans to do more videos that provide more in-depth summaries for the individual books, chapter summaries and spoilers that are now canon rather than just reviews? Yes. That's another thing that I would like to do. My eventual plan for this channel, again, this all comes down to time and balancing it with my day job. I've got this channel, I have a social life, I have a wife, so I have all these things that I have to balance. So eventually I would like to basically do my normal like 5 lore videos in a week, and then I will probably on most weeks do a gaming stream and a live stream Q&A. But on top of that, as new material comes out, if I had more time, I would be able to, not only review new content, but I could do spoiler reviews and summaries for people that don't want to take the time to read all of these things. So yeah, that is something that I would like to do more often. Will Finn get friend-zoned by Rey? I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be a romantic subplot in the next films. There doesn't really need to be. There's been speculation that Poe and maybe Finn are gay, which I wouldn't be opposed to that. I think that would be actually very interesting, because they have been slowly in the expanded universe kind of adding new gay characters. They've all been small characters, but it seems like maybe they're testing the waters a little bit. So maybe Finn will get friend zoned by Poe, but I doubt it. The Republic versus the First Order. Who do I think would win? Probably the Republic. The First Order I don't think is all that big. They have been building themselves up in the unknown regions. They don't have much control, so I think if the First Order were to have attacked the Republic during the Clone Wars, I think they would have got their butts kicked. Is Poe gay? No idea. People have been speculating on that. I was just making a joke, really. Best comics to read, given I've never read one before. Start with... Okay, I'll give you two. The Lando comic is a short 5-issue arc, and it was really, really good. Probably the most emotional comic that came out in 2015, and I was very surprised by it. So if you want to just really test the waters and do a really small investment, check out Lando. But if you want something a little more tied in with the main story, check out the main Star Wars comic. That one is a lot of fun to read. It's probably my favorite one right now. The Darth Vader comic is also very good, but if you want to start with the Star Wars comics, I would probably just start with Star Wars. MM7807, your birthday's on Wednesday. Happy almost birthday. Is Earth in the unknown regions? I don't think Earth is in this galaxy at all. It's a galaxy far, far away, so I don't think we're ever going to see Earth. Could Finn be related to Mace Windu? I doubt it. Again, I don't think that every character needs to be related to a character we already know. So I think Finn is probably just he was taken from an unknown family, and that's it. That's his entire history, really. I don't think he's related to Lando or Mace or anything like that. What do I think of the costuming group, the 501st Legion? Love them. They're awesome. I see a lot of them at Dragon Con every year, and they do a lot of great charity work. They're very cool. I would love to put a costume and join their ranks together someday, but that I don't even know where to start with something like that. But I would love to have a costume like that. One thing I've considered for Dragon Con this year is to put together a Kylo Ren costume, and then get like an autograph book and run around and try to get autographs from all the people in Darth Vader costumes. But I don't know if I'll be able to put that together or not. Do I think we'll see Obi-Wan in the new films again? Probably not in episodes 7, 8, or 9. Well, obviously not 7, but probably not 8 or 9. But I do think Obi-Wan will get a spin-off movie because we know Ewan McGregor is into it. I think Disney would be crazy to pass up on that. Will Star Wars ever go bankrupt? I doubt it. It is possible that, I don't know, like people are worried that maybe fans will get burnt out having a new movie every year. But I mean, Marvel's cranking out like 3 movies a year, and they're still the best. Like, every one they put out is a huge hit. So I think one movie a year is pretty safe. And I like that they're not rushing it, you know? They're taking their time, they're telling new stories, and it sounds like they have a very good plan for where they want it to go. Who's my favorite Domino Squad clone? Fives. Fives is my favorite clone. I think he was awesome. I liked all the stories he was a part of. He was the one that basically saved their butts on Umbara and was almost executed by Pong Krell for that. And then he helped capture Pong Krell, and then he was the one that almost uncovered the conspiracy behind Order 66, and he basically saved Rex and Wolf from having to go through that. X-Wing or TIE Fighter? If you're talking about the ships, X-Wing. If you're talking about the games, TIE Fighter. Favorite film score? Yeah, that's a good one. I think I'm going to go with Howard Shore's Lord of the Rings. That soundtrack has so many themes, and they're all used in so many different ways. My favorite part of that score is when Frodo and Sam are climbing up on Mount Doom, and like Frodo just collapses, and he's like giving his last little bit of energy to try to pull himself up, and the Shire music starts to play again. Like, that is good. His score is amazing. Favorite John Williams score? I do love the Indiana Jones theme, but I think Star Wars probably has more recognizable themes in it. So I'll go with Star Wars as my favorite John Williams score. Well, maybe Empire Strikes Back, because that's the first time we hear the Imperial March. I answered something that's not about Star Wars. Yeah, I'll talk about anything. A-Wing or B-Wing? Oscar Bolinas, A-Wing. I like speed, but the B-Wing is really powerful. It's pretty cool. Hello, Caesar D59. Is BBY before the Battle of Yavin? Yes, it is. Do I watch Collider Jedi Council? Sometimes. Not religiously. I do like it, though. Captain Phasma or Captain Rex? Rex. I mean, Phasma just hasn't gotten a lot to do yet, and Rex has had a ton to do, so yeah, Rex has a clear advantage there. What's my favorite canon lightsaber type? Probably double-bladed. I would like to think that I could handle one of those, but it would probably kill me. I'd kill myself immediately trying to spin it around. Han's blaster or Chewie's bowcaster? I like the power of the bowcaster, but I like the design of Han's blaster more. I'll go with Han's blaster. My favorite villain? I've said my favorite Sith is Darth Bane, and that's probably gonna stay true. Yeah, we'll keep with Darth Bane. The weirdest legend story I've ever read. Oh, that's a good one. I don't know. It's been a while since I've read a lot of the legend stuff. Courtship of Princess Leia had some really weird moments in it. It was just like more in the way that it was written. Like, I think Warlord Zinj gets killed like twice in that movie or in that book, just because it was written weird. I don't know. I'd have to really think about that one. Someone asked what made me start YouTube. Dan Thompson. I actually put this channel together. Well, I had another YouTube channel that I would just upload to occasionally. I did like some After Effects tutorials, and I found some success on there. But what made me start this channel is actually to bring up Dragon Con again. There is a trivia contest, a Star Wars trivia contest there every year, and I have gotten onto it twice in the 3 times that I've tried out for it, and it's ridiculously hard. You have to take a written exam to get into the top 10, and those top 10 get to be a part of the contest. And the best I've ever gotten to is the top 5. It's really crazy hard. So in Dragon Con 2014, I think I was on the panel in 2013. I did not get onto it in 2014, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to study. And so I started studying, and I was like, you know, it would be kind of fun to, and would probably help me retain the knowledge, is to make videos about all this stuff, especially with the new movie coming out. So that's kind of where I got the idea, was just to study for a trivia contest. And so I started uploading videos on January 5th, 2015, and it grew a lot faster than I was expecting. I hoped that maybe I would get some subscribers, but it's been growing and growing. So yeah, it started because I wanted to study for a trivia contest, and then I got back onto it this past year in 2015 at the Dragon Con trivia contest, and it was still crazy hard. What are my hobbies? Silas Olson, this is a major one. I mean, I go to work, I work on this channel. I mean, I like to read, I watch TV, I watch movies, I play video games and board games with my friends. Pretty standard stuff, but I mean, this YouTube channel is probably my biggest hobby, by far. Giovanni asking who I think Jon Snow's parents are. I won't say them on the stream, but I agree with you. I think you're right. Do I have a job non-YouTube? Cameron Stewart. Yes, I have a day job, a full-time job. I work in marketing for a small business here in Atlanta. What if the Empire attacks Earth? Do you think we will survive? Not if they attack us with the Death Star. I mean, no, I think they'd blow us to pieces. Even if they just had a fleet of Star Destroyers, we're not equipped to handle that. Have I seen the Dark Knight trilogy, and what did I think of it? Yeah, I really like Christopher Nolan's films, and The Dark Knight, the second movie in that trilogy, was phenomenal. That was 2007, I think. 2008? 2008. We saw that in the IMAX at midnight, and like my wife and a couple friends got in line at like 3 p.m. or something, like 9 hours before the movie was opening, and we were the first people in that theater. It was awesome. Finn Townley, my favorite and least favorite special edition change. Least favorite is Han shooting second. Yeah, Greedo shooting first. I really don't like that change because I think it affects Han's character. Favorite change, like, I guess it's kind of cool seeing more of Cloud City in The Empire Strikes Back. Like, I don't really think that the changes they've made are in any way necessary, but as long as they don't affect... Oh, I know what my favorite change is. Just the small, like, visual effects that they fixed. Like, they made the lightsabers look a little better in some shots. That's totally fine for me. If you're going to update some effects here and there, it's cool. But if you're going to affect a character's story arc, I don't like that. When will Star Wars Minute by Disney? Probably never. I mean, if Star Wars itself was $4 billion, I don't see myself having that kind of money anytime soon. Do you think Echo will return in Star Wars Rebels? That'd be cool. I don't want to give anything away, but Read the the Crimson Corsair and like the Lost Treasure of Count Dooku. It was one of the Journey to the Force Awakens short stories. You'd like it a lot. Yusef Ahmed, do you ever go to the Star Wars subreddit? Yes, all the time. I am on Reddit way too much, and the Star Wars subreddit is the one that I'm on the most frequently. So, yeah, you have probably seen me there before, actually. Batman or Spider-Man? Batman. Do I think the conflict between the First Order and the New Republic is the Second Galactic Civil War? I guess we'll have to wait and see in episode 8, because the New Republic was basically trying to prevent a full-on galactic war. So now that the New Republic is basically gone, we'll have to see what the First Order does. Like, they might start a galactic war, or the Resistance might keep them in the unknown regions. We don't know. Do I go to Comic-Con? I've never been to Comic-Con. I do Dragon Con every year, but I've never made it to Comic-Con. Who do I think would win in a fight, Boba Fett or Captain America? Good question. Boba Fett doesn't have superpowers, but he can fly. I think I might give the edge to Captain America. Where do I see my channel in the next 500 years? Well, obviously, the Star Wars franchise will be continuing on, and they will be 500 films deep. And hopefully someone has picked up the reins from me, or I will have my consciousness transferred into a droid like the Bomar monks, and that droid will continue on my legacy. Would I be happy if Rey was Luke's daughter? Sure. I really don't have any opinion on who Rey's parents are. Like, if she's not related to anyone, I'm fine with that. If she is a Kenobi or a Skywalker, I'm fine with that. As long as it's explained properly and in a satisfying way. Who would win, Darth Maul or Kylo Ren? Probably Maul. He seemed to have a lot more skills with the lightsaber and more of a handle on the Force. I think Kylo is still very much in training mode. Was I disappointed when Kylo Ren took off his mask? No, I liked that. I like that he wears a mask because he wants to, not because he has to. And I like that he doesn't look like a monster. He doesn't look like a villain. He's just a guy. Will I buy Han Solo's clones that was frozen in carbonite? Are they for sale? I mean, they're probably outside of my price range. Have I ever met any Star Wars actors? 2. At Dragon Con in 2007, I think. My wife and I ran into Anthony Daniels, and we got our picture with him. And the last year, Peter Mayhew was there, and I shook his hand and told him that I loved him, I think. I don't know, I just started like verbal diarrhea all over him, and I don't remember what I said, but it was very exciting to just like run into him and just say, hey. It is 2:54 right now, so I'm gonna sign off in about 5 minutes just to give everyone a heads up. Do I write fan fiction? No, not yet. Who knows, maybe someday. I won't say never. How would I rate The Force Awakens from 0 to 10? I feel like I need to keep letting some time pass to really let it sink in, but right now it's probably like an 8 or 9. My biggest worry about the sequel trilogy is that it's going to continue to mirror the original trilogy as closely as The Force Awakens did. I don't want it to be a total beat-for-beat recreation. I hope episodes 8 and 9 divert the storyline farther away from the original trilogy than The Force Awakens did. What do I think about Lost Stars? You're about halfway through it. It's my favorite new canon book, so keep reading it. I loved it. Um, how was my day? It's good so far. I slept in a lot. It felt great. What sport do I like? I don't really follow any sports hardcore. I'll watch them. I played soccer growing up. I ran cross country, and I don't really consider cross country a hardcore sport. It's just running. But soccer is probably my favorite sport. Was I angry when the EU became non-canon? Not really. Not like some people were. I understood where they were coming from. Like, they want to make these new movies. They don't want to be held down by everything that has already happened. Like, there wasn't anywhere new for them to go because it's all been covered already. So I understand why they did it. Favorite EU comic? If we're talking just canon, I would probably go with Lando or Star Wars. If you're talking old canon, Legacy of the Force was really cool. I didn't read a ton of the Legends comics, and I have them on my to-do list to read a lot more of them and cover them in videos. I remember Crimson Empire being pretty cool. I liked the Shadows of the Empire comic. I liked the whole Shadows of the Empire like multimedia experience. Do I think Finn will have good control with the lightsaber just like Grievous had? I don't think he can control it as well as Grievous did. But, I mean, he did okay. Paul Merrick. I don't mean that cross country's not a sport. Because, I mean, I did it. It's just like I'm kind of biased against it, I guess, because I ran so much for so long. Like, every time I try to get back into running now, I'm like, I just can't do it. It just turned me off to running, kind of. Darth Crate, thoughts? He's cool. I like him. I liked Legacy of the Force. Do I plan on building a costume or cosplay? I'd like to at some point. I don't know when I would do it, but I would like to. Rated New Dawn out of 10. I'll give it a 7. I wasn't blown away by it, but I did enjoy it. Are you getting tired of Star Wars questions? No, that's why I'm doing this. My voice is dying. I can't talk as much anymore. Is my computer wallpaper related to Star Wars? Yeah, it's a picture of the First Order Stormtroopers from like the original teaser, where they're all lined up in that troop transport. Favorite Muse song? Nice, DC Geek. Hysteria. Aw, Story Room. I love you too. Thoughts on Rebels Season 2? I like it so far. I'm trying to keep my eyes on the question and just... Outside of Star Wars, what are my favorite films? Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones The Last Crusade, The Lord of the Rings trilogy. What do I hope to see in Rogue One? Biggs. Second favorite franchise, Indiana Jones. How did I meet my wife? At a Halloween costume party. How often will I do these live streams? Right now, I've been doing them every 10,000 subscribers. Eventually, I'd like to do them weekly. Have I seen the new Star Wars movie? Nope. Just kidding. What's my Steam name? Star Wars Minute. Everything is Star Wars Minute for the most part, except my Twitter is SW Minute. Are you working on an R2-D2 Origins? Yes. How much are you going to distance yourself from the upcoming Star Wars movies? Not at all. Okay. It's 3. I've been at this for 2 hours. I'm tired. But thank you guys for coming along and doing all this. This has been really fun. It's the longest stream I've ever done. I've definitely answered the most questions. Before I go, I wanted to remind everyone, I said this at the beginning, but it's probably a bunch of new people here now. This stream was actually sponsored by an app called Diddy. And, oh, I actually have a little way to close this off. There we go. So that is Diddy. It is an app that lets you type in a message and then play that message. It basically sings it over a song. And Diddy has been kind enough to sponsor this stream. And they have a ton of songs in their library. So you type in a message, you choose what song you want it to be sung to, and it makes this video. You can also put GIFs or your own videos behind the text. And they just added a bunch of new Star Wars songs to it. So the app is free. If you want to try it out, there are links in the description. And today, the song, the original Star Wars theme, is totally free for all of you guys if you want to try it out. So go check out Diddy. They were kind enough to sponsor the stream, and that's huge. And before I sign off, one more thank you to all of you for 40,000 subscribers. That's so huge, especially in the past, it took like 2 weeks. So thank you to all of you. I think that's all I gotta say. So thank you all for watching, and may the Force be with you.